Hey friends, what's up and welcome to today's video in which I want to talk about how being gay, lesbian, queer benefits me. It is Pride Month, it's June, that's our month, the rainbow month, and gladly, next week, coming up, is Pride Week here in Playa del Carmen. I mean, what a coincidence. I didn't plan it like that. It just kind of happened to be Pride Week here in Playa. And there's quite a few events going on and also a parade next weekend. So exciting. It's cool. I'm excited. And second of all, there's a lot of also, we're all kind of aware that there's still a lot of discrimination going on, even though a lot of straight people in like Western countries are like, really? That's still, I'm like, yeah, like everywhere actually. In many countries around the world, there's still a lot of discrimination going on, also politically. Same-sex marriage is not yet a thing everywhere either. So, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But I generally like to focus on the positive stuff. I never like to victimize myself. I like to empower myself. And so, I thought about a few things that kind of, they really make me even more proud to be gay. And for those of you who know, my coming out wasn't a very smooth ride, maybe. I'll link to my coming out video here. It took me until I was 26, 27 to have my coming out, and the road leading up to that was very rocky. So now in my 30s, I'm a really happy, queer, lesbian, gay, woman, non-binary, whatever. I'm a kind of bit here, I'm a little bit there, I'm a little bit everywhere, and which brings me actually to the first point is that, we just make up our own rules. I make up my own rules, in many ways, in life and business and so on. But I feel like being gay really taught me how to just not care about what other people think or how society does stuff. I just make up my own rules. I want to have short hair. I don't care if, what society thinks. Just because women think they need to have long hair because they have a vagina and boobs, I'm just like, well, I had that for like most of my life, and then I felt like having short hair, and now I like it much better. I love going to the barber shop, even though that's kind of like a men's space. I like going in there and being like, okay, can I get a haircut? And so also in terms of like gender norms, gender rules and all of these things, like I just don't subscribe to binaries very much anymore. Like this is how a man needs to be and this is man, and then this is how a woman needs to be, and this is woman and female and whatever. There's all these gray shades, and I love being part of those gray shades as being a queer woman. Or sometimes I just feel like I'm neither, and I don't even want to just subscribe to one label and like, pigeonholed into one way of being and looking and whatever. I'm just like, well, it kind of depends on the way, like the day and how I feel. Do I feel like more feminine today? Do I feel like maybe more masculine today? More yin, more yang, more Shakti, more Shiva? I just love to kind of blend it all together, and I feel like being gay and being queer and genderqueer, and that allows me to explore so much more of who I can be as a soul, as a human being, as a person. And so that's been super fascinating, and I just really encourage also all the non-gay people, even though I don't really subscribe to 100% anything, neither 100% gay nor 100% straight or 50-50 bisexual. I just don't think that exists. I think we're fluid. We're human beings. We're fluid. I don't think I'm 100% anything either. And so I'm just like, well, just try things out. Like open yourself up, and not just when it comes to what, who you have sex with, man or woman or something in between, but also the way you look, the way you dress, your haircut, just open up the ways of what it means to be a man or a woman. Like, who cares? Yeah. And all of this really closely relates to number 2, which is, when you have your coming out, and like I said, for me, it was a longer process, from when I was maybe 12, when I first sort of realized, looking back, that, I really, really like other girls, and like I really, really like my best friend. But up until, 26, so that's 14 years of being in the closets, when I finally did have my coming out, it really taught me to stand in my truth. And, and it's not like you have one coming out and then that's it for the rest of your life. It's like you have a coming out all the time. For the first few years after my coming out, I had long hair. I still looked very much like a normal kind of girl. And so, you come out to new people you meet. You come out to maybe when you go to a doctor. There's all these different situations in life where you might come out, or at work, or, you go to whatever event. And so the more often you have to do this, the more often you realize, okay, like I need to really love that part of myself that I used to really reject. And in that way, I also started loving other parts of myself that I used to reject. So it's been a really beautiful process, and just developing a lot of self-compassion. And also really getting to a place where you just don't care anymore what other people think. And I think that in itself, that, having had a coming out, it prepares you to stand strong in your identity, in who you are, and in your truth in other areas of life, such as also business, or just generally doing my thing, doing things differently. And it's almost as though that's like an advantage that people like us have compared to like straight people, heterosexual people, because they never actually have to go through this struggle, this challenge in life. And so they never actually have to stretch themselves in that way that gay people have to do when we have our coming out. And so I feel like it really, we get to practice. We get to really figure out who we are, starting with our sexual identity, and then depending on where you are with like your spiritual journey, you then eventually go deeper and deeper and deeper. And through that whole process, also, I personally have developed a lot of self-confidence just because of that. It's like your sexual identity is like the core of your identity, and having built a sort of confidence around that. I mean, what else is more essential to you? I mean, I could think of one or two things, but anyway, what are more essential things that are so essential to your identity as a human being than that? And so, having that figured out and carrying that out into the world, it's powerful experience, even though it's very challenging and it's like scary, when you do kind of admit that to yourself. And it was for me very much so back then. But man, like I'm so grateful for having been exposed to that, for the universe giving me that challenge in life to go through and to learn so much from. And it kind of helped me to really find self-love, because I had to face the trauma of being in the closet, for example, over and over again since my coming out, because there was so much shame and just suppressed feelings, obviously. And so I had to deal with it over and over again. It's not just a one-time thing, okay, dealt with it, I'm out now, I'm done. No, it kept coming back, kept coming up to the surface, and then I deal with it, and then, it'll kind of go away, and then it comes back a year later, a few months later. And so this has been sort of my journey, but through that, man, like the amount of growth that I experienced by going deep into these feelings of shame, not just with my sexual identity, but then also, healing shame at the same time in other areas of life. Amazing, really. So in that way, life doesn't happen to us. It always happens for us. But I couldn't see that, obviously, for a very long time when I was in it. But, in retrospective, I'm just really grateful that I was granted this challenge. So thanks, universe. It's been great. Feeling awesome. Being gay. Yeah. And number 3 is that, being gay, like you're a minority, right? They say that 1 out of 10 is gay. So that kind of, you always feel a little bit different to other people. So knowing what that's like helps you to be more compassionate with other people that are part of a minority or just different, because you know what it's like. And so I feel like it opened up my mind, it opened up my heart to so many other people out there who feel like they're different. and who feel like that they're separate. Because sometimes, when I find myself for too long among straight people, I sometimes feel like, man, like I kind of really need like someone who's gay to just kind of have that, contact. It's almost as though I want my identity to be mirrored back to me by someone else. And that, obviously that's the reason why there's, gay communities around the world and gay clubs and bars and barbershops and, all these institutions and events and infrastructure for gay people, so that we can feel more connected. And to have our identity mirrored back to us, it is really important, actually. And that, it's the same thing with like expats in a foreign country, right? Or certain religious groups in different countries that are minorities. We always kind of tend to kind of mingle together because we like to connect in that way. The only thing that I really wish is that there would be maybe more gay people, lesbians out there, maybe on social media or wherever, who are also spiritually connected more and doing the spiritual work, personal development, personal growth, and actually talk about it more. So that's kind of one thing that I wish was out there. And then two last things, but they're kind of minor. On the grand scale of things, to be honest. But one thing is, when two gay people have sex together, they don't ever have to worry about getting pregnant. That's kind of cool. But on the other hand, obviously, and that's the disadvantage to it, it's a lot harder for us to create a family, or just a lot more expensive to organize. It's not just like, ooh, okay, let's just have sex, make a baby. No, it's like, but on the other hand, it is nice to not have to worry about getting pregnant. And before I was with men, and the pill after was a thing a couple of times in my 20s, and that wasn't fun at all. Also, contraception in general, like the pill, I tried that for like a month when I was like maybe 19, and that just fucked me up completely. And just seeing so many straight women out there taking hormones on a daily basis makes me really sad. But I feel like that awareness is increasing slowly. And lastly, and that is something really beautiful, I find I know my partner's body really well because I have the same stuff going on. I have the same equipment. And I always kind of wonder, like, how do straight people, like, wow, I have a lot of respect actually for men like going down on a woman, or because it's like, wow, he has no clue what it feels like to have a vagina and how sensitive it is down there. And the same thing for women. They have no idea what it's like to have a penis. So I would have a lot of respect for straight people to make it work, because they're just so different, obviously. So I just really appreciate being so similar with my partner. It's nice to have that same energy going on in many ways. And also, as a gay woman, I never have to live up to a man's expectation of what a woman has to look like. And I feel like there's still so much of that going on out there in society, and when you go out to clubs and whatever, and men wanting women with big boobs, and like, and then a woman feels like she has to dress up like crazy and put all that makeup in her face to impress men. And yeah, it's pretty intense. And so I feel like I feel a bit liberated, because I don't feel the need that I have to do that for other gay women. I can just totally be myself, and I can be my tomboy self and my androgynous self, and they love that. So I just feel like that there's still a lot more pressure like on each other in the straight world about how to look and how to impress each other. And so anyway, my friends, as you can maybe tell, I'm pretty proud to be a lesbian, to be queer. It does definitely benefit me, and I try to focus on that, on the advantages rather than the disadvantages, even though I know we have still a lot of work to do, which is also why I'm making this video. And I'd love for you to share with me in the comments below what are ways that being gay benefits you. Or whatever comes to mind, share with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Bye. Mwah.